Do you want to know how the CRA worker strike will affect you as a Canadian? Well, in this video, I will explain all the CRA services that are delayed or closed until the union and the government reach an agreement. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ryan Banks and my channel is about financial tips and tricks that you can bank on. And subscribing to my channel will help you learn more about your own personal finances so that you can make better financial educated decisions for you and your family. First things first, let's get it out there. No, you don't get an extension to file your taxes this year because of the strike. The tax deadline is still April 30th, but because April 30th is on a weekend this year, the tax deadline is moved to the next business day, which is May 1st. And I know that when I'm posting this video, it's essentially too late, but it's still good information for you to know for future years as well. So the other thing too is you only get to pay interest and penalties if you have an amount owing. So if you do have an amount owing and you don't pay that balance by April 30th, or in this terms for this year, May 1st, you will get automatically a surcharge or interest and penalties of 5% right out of the gate, plus an additional 1% per month or 12% annually. So it can rack up really quickly. So you want to make sure that you pay those balances on the appropriate date. Now, in terms of people who don't file their taxes and they have a refund, well, there are thousands and thousands of Canadians out there that don't do this, but they could be receiving a lot of benefits. So first is your tax refund. The second is there is the HST credit. There is the Ontario Children Benefit, or the OTB. There is also the climate action incentive. So these are things that you can get money back. And if you haven't filed your taxes for a lot of years, well, give me a shout and I could definitely help you file those taxes for you. So you can email me at ryanbankscpa@gmail.com. Now let's talk about how the strike will affect CRA Services. So because of the strike, it will take CRA a lot longer to process tax returns, and if you have a refund, you won't be seeing that refund hit your bank account for a little while now, or a lot longer. Additionally, the CRA phone services are very limited and even closed in certain departments. Now, if you're someone who just set up their CRA account and is waiting to get a code mailed in to them, well, you're going to be waiting for quite a long time because this department is closed right now. So usually you see them say, oh, you should receive a code in 5 to 10 business days. Well, until they reach an agreement, you won't be receiving anything. I've just covered everything that you need to know of how CRA Services will affect the strike. But that's all on the CRA's website, and there's one more thing that might affect you. So each year, CRA randomly picks out different tax returns to audit, and it's at complete random. For example, my dad and I got audited last year. So in your lifetime, you will probably get audited, and there's nothing wrong with that because you just need to provide those documents. But for whatever reason, if they come back and say, oh, you can't claim that specific thing, well, they go back and retro the amount off of the April 30th tax deadline, and they're going to calculate interest and penalties based off of the amount that you can't claim. So usually this audit usually happens in the fall, but because of the strike and once they reach an agreement, they're going to be in the backlog and they're going to be behind, which means this year's audits will probably happen in the winter or spring depending on how long this strike will go for. So you know what that means for you? If for whatever reason they pull something back and say you can't claim it, you will get a lot more of interest and penalties because they're going to be auditing further down the road. So that's just something to consider, and I don't want to alarm you because if you've claimed something and you have documentation for it, there's nothing wrong with it. I know that with the strike, it can be very frustrating because certain services are closed, and I completely hear you because we're all in the same boat. But I hope you did find this video very informative and a little bit more about kind of tax deadlines and how the interest and penalties work. So you want to make sure that you file your taxes on time so you can get those full benefits as well. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions whatsoever, you can email me at ryanbankscpa@gmail.com.